Hello there and welcome to The Nest. This is Kate and I am so hoping that you're ready to have some fun with me. The purpose of this afternoon is to give you the next update on our Pouches in the Nest project that I announced a couple of weeks ago, and we're getting close to January and a few people have some questions. So we are just literally going to explore and chat and talk, and hopefully I want to give you some ideas. So if you're new or haven't seen that at all, you don't need to know anything. Basically, we are going to do a collaborative project where the whole idea is fun. Okay. In summary, and I've written it up and I'll write it up again, but we're going to make a pouch a month and we'll see how many months we go. I'm planning for 6 months at this point, and we'll be open to feedback. And the idea is that the pouch will be based on 3 things. You need to decide whether it's to fly from your nest, so it's a gift for someone, or it's for fun and stay in your nest, maybe to fly at another time. Every single pouch that I make will fly from the nest to one of you, and I haven't worked that out, but all of my pouches are going to fly because I want to share that process with you. Each pouch, and there are no rules. Truly, please do not worry about if you don't do this, because it's just for fun. But I thought the whole idea about the pouch is that when you pick it up, you can tell a story about it. So let's look. I've just gathered a few of my pouches here together. When I pick this pouch up, I can tell you that this may be the second pouch I ever made, and you won't have seen this, but I can tell you that all of these pieces were thrifted, and inside of it, I was experimenting. So it isn't finished. I made that a little while ago, and I can see the progression. This pouch has a story that you will be familiar with. This pouch is made from a thrifted blanket that I got in orange on my Oppie Shop tour. It's finished with a trim that I bought at Marigold Interiors, and it is showing the progress of my stitching at the Fleur workshop. And have I got a treasure? I've got a treasure because this is the fringe that Maddie, the artist who hosted us in her workshop, gave me on the final day. Oh, and there's a sneaky guest. It's a pin inside the cowrie shell. So if you follow Kate in the Nest, I love a story, and people are connected by story. So the whole thing behind this project is for you to develop your story, and if you're gifting it to someone, you can share that story. So let's go through those things again. So a thrift can be any part. It doesn't have to be the base of your pouch. All of these things here on this pouch have been thrifted, and that includes the blanket from the sewing basket, the shirt that I've used to line for many pieces that I got from an op shop. Yeah, it's all thrifted, but the treasure I would call on this one is there's a Zozo from Zoe at the Green Door. So what are we going to have? A thrift. I'm sorry if I've repeated this, but I just really want to help people understand that it is so loose. So a thrift, something that you have got from someone else or is not brand new. A trim, and that's me just sharing my love of trims. A trim can be So I've got 2 trims here already, in fact probably 3. That's a trim with beads. This is a little bit, remember, of an old sari trim that I cut off. That's a trim. This is a bit of fleur fabric that I count as a trim. Trims can be fringy. They can be a ribbon. It's just what you love. I would count this as a trim. I'm using it in my little tiny pins and needles that I've just shared with you. So I count that as a trim. So let's use this as an example. I have, so far, I've got a thrift, I've got a trim, and I would say this is a treasure because it's a piece of lace that I got from Christy One Sock. I mean, another trinket would be this little thing here. Okay, so it's a trinket or a treasure. And I was talking to some of my friends at the Green Door the other day, and I thought, okay, let's just free everyone up and don't worry. So I thought I'd just show you my bits and you'll get the hang. It has to be you, right? It has to be you. So I want to talk about starting your pouch. I've got all of these here. Okay, to the pouch. Pouches in the nest is what it's about. The project is more about the embellishment and the giving or the keeping of the pouch rather than the pouch construction. So I don't want you to worry about that part too much. I shared this recently. This is brand new from the Save the Children shop in town. So if you want a zippered pouch, have a look around and save yourself the work if you don't like putting zippers in like me. Or if you are someone who loves making a zippered pouch, think about that and do your embellishment and put the zip in whenever you're ready. So for me, that pouch there is a thrift to start with. And now in the nest, I would go about embellishing that. Let's think how I would do that. I would cover that up with different things. There's trims I've just brought out. And here's a treasure that is my own vintage cardigan. You've seen this, and it went on the Betty, and it's on the back of a thrifted. So I could start playing with that. Sorry, ballerina. But that could start to be part of the embellishing of my pouch. There's a piece of fabric that I would probably fold around, and all the work in terms of the closure is done for me. The only challenge with that is you would be stitching through it already made, which I love, but may not suit everyone. Okay, so that's one little idea. I'm going to try show you multiples. You know that this is, well, you don't know it, sorry, that's a wrong assumption to make. I should say my mum, the Betty, has made me many pouches. This one's soft fabric. She's already lined it. So, and I might do this sometimes. I'm not sure of how my pouches will start and end, but there is a ready-made zippered pouch that I've already started embellishing. So I've put these 2 flowers on, and I'm sure they were a thrift from Melbourne as well, I think. So I could just be embroidering those. I could at the end put this trim on, and so I've got a thrift, a trim, and a treasure. So I'm looking around because I've gathered the most bizarre arrangement of things, but of course the one I wanted to show you has disappeared. Okay, we'll come back to that. So let's go in this little bit. So here again, this is a collection of little tiny bits, a trinket or a treasure. I think I'm thinking that a trinket could be, what's the word? 3-dimensional. So a button maybe. But remember, you've got a choice, a trinket or a treasure. So this is a treasure because it was a little flower that I got out at Orange. So that could go there, etc. and stitch away, all right? So that's an easy way to start with a pouch because it's the love of stitching that we're about rather than getting worried about the size or the type of your pouch. I hope this is making sense. I thought I'd show you this. Sometimes the easiest way to make a pouch and start with some structure is, this is a little thrifted napkin. Can't remember where I got it from, but you can see if I'd ironed it that I could just stitch that down there, stitch that down there, put that there. I'd have the beginnings of I would have a pouch, and then we could turn to embellishing. This is a little piece that I've used before. That could be a trim. And wish I could find that other little bit I had for you, because that would have made you laugh. Have I laughed yet? Oh, I have. Well, I've laughed. Here we go. This is when, this is a long while ago now. This was a fancy dress, thrifted hat, and here is an old brooch. I bought it for all these little bits. None of them are expensive, but if I put that on there, it would immediately elevate it and meet the brief. Or buttons. That one doesn't really go. You can be as quirky, as funny as you like. So let's go to the words of, I'm just going to keep playing as I talk to you. The words of the January song are about joy. So joy to the world, all the boys and girls. So you might want to take boys and girls as you're making this gift for a child or a particular person. I have to say that over because I've forgotten the words. Boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Now, fishes, you can be literal. Sea, you can be literal, or deep blue, or just blue. So here's a trim from my mum's negligee that is blue. And it could be, let's take these other ones away. This is sort of green, but that trim could start featuring, it could in fact go in there. So it's not deep blue, but the idea of blue is coming through. Yep. Joy to you and me. Okay, so, and if you don't like that particular stanza and you've got another favorite, just use it. As I said, this is about us just exploring. And I know some people are thinking they don't know where to start. If you want to be a colour person, you might go, okay, let's limit my choices and start with blue. So it's going to, January Joy is going to be a blue pouch. And there you go. Other ideas. If you've been a thrifter or a collector or have been out and about and there's lots of bits of crochet. I found this panel that I haven't seen for years and years. That's not years and years, you know me, the exaggeration. This is a thrifted crochet piece. And again, if I want to take out the worries, I just have a flap. Let's put this down here. And we could have a flap pouch. if you want to have a flap, you need to think about the proportions. A rectangle more than a square. I mean, it could be a pouch like a horsewhip. Just do you. And as I kept saying, it's the story behind. And I would love that if you are on the Facebook group or you start to share somewhere else, that in the progress you can verbalize, have a voice about what's the story, because then that will fill it with love. You know, when we make a gift by hand for someone, it oozes love. So your pouches are either for you to stay in your nest and love, love, love and develop your skills, or as a gift. So going back to colour, I've tended over this time of sharing with you to realise that I sort of have three favourite ideas. I sort of have my natural neutrals. That's a dog next door. But see here, even draping that like that, and I wouldn't do this all, but I've got a thrift, a trim, and I call that a treasure. So I wouldn't really need to do anything else on that to meet what we were looking for. But I would also then dip into, I use someone who has a box like this. I'm doing it more and more. I would call this trinkets and treasures. Random. I think I got these, didn't I, from the sewing basket? But let you be you. Like, who would ever think of an elephant's head then? Probably no one. But that is what this is about. Play. That's a little treasure. Treasures, trinkets. My mum gave me that. Now that's a bit blingy for that piece. But it's playtime. This I also showed you when I got it from Orange. That for me is a trinket in this context. And as I struggle to find how to keep my thread keeper on here, like I could just put, I better see that you're watching in through that I'm, not that you're watching, you know what I mean? I mean in view, but I love that. That's Quirky Kate. I've done a little bit more work, you can see when I love something. There it is. So I hope ideas are starting. What I'm hoping out of this is if you've got it, you don't need to watch it, but if you want any ideas, you can have it. Here's a doily with a stain on it, but it's got a cute little picture of two flowers. We could just stitch to there and to there, and that would be a pouch. So you could embellish, add flowers and appliques, whatever you like, and it would be a January joy. So each month is going to be followed by the words, so it stays in our head. So the first one, January joy, I think is amazing in that it's a new start for all of us. Whatever has happened in 2025, January is a reset. All these possibilities. Bzz, I'm going to stop. Some of you have said that you don't have a collection like mine, and I totally understand that. So when all else fails, just look around your house. Is there a shirt or something that you love that maybe you're not wearing as much? Is there a plain piece of material that you could dye, dip in tea? This is from the lovely Vanessa, Willow May. See, you can see me. Kate just immediately goes to these sorts of pouches. You might be someone whose eye has to have it like that and with a zip or a fastening. Just start playing. And that's why I've done this now ahead of time. Well, not ahead of time, but you know, there's no time. This is a piece of fabric from Rachel and Sarah's workshop. So for me, that's a treasure. It's got a memory attached with it. So I could put that on there. Let's see what I could do. You might be someone who, like me, becomes incredibly prolific at pouches and makes more than one a week. Who knows? All right, so there's a trim, a treasure. This isn't a thrift. It could have been thrifted by Vanessa, but I'm not sure. So then I would be making sure that on it, just to play my own game, comes something that I've got from somewhere else. Okay, which takes me back to my colours. So this is my colourway that is Colourful Kate. It's the flowers, it's the garden. So here we had neutral and natural. This is, you know, I don't know what to call it, but it is my colour explosion. Someone, I think it was Linda, I'm not sure, I'm sorry if it wasn't you, Linda, said it's like opening a box of crayons. I just, you know, I explode. And especially when I've been demure, like this, I tend to leap back into there. The other thing I have loved doing this year is playing around with these, what I call very vintage colours. So like on this one, where I've gone bright as well, but no, that's not a good example. My husband and son are chatting right outside the door, so sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted. Let's go pinks, greens, and look, I want to show you this. This is a bit that I pulled off a blanket. Well, obviously no, a blanket off a nest, but that could become a trim, and it's thrifted at the same time. So we can go crazy. And if you're nervous, just do not be nervous. Just start somewhere. Look at that piece. I think I showed you that the other day. That is thrifted and a treasure. So I'm hoping I have given you some ideas. The one thing, I didn't even pause. I hope you're answering me. Can you hear? Lining might be something that you think about. Kate in the nest is addicted to blanket. So here's an offcut that I just zipped and found. I would use this. Doesn't matter about the size. I've told you that. If you want to start small and then build up or do a collection, what about the January Joy collection? All Us Birds of a Feather could do. If you do it like this, that becomes the backing, and then you lay your bits all over. That could be the trim, and you sew it up at the end. Whatever you like. If you choose one of these, it's already got a lining. That'll be easier. Oh, I'm just stretching because here's Mum's busy little bee one. Oh, and she's got a pocket in there. So, joy to the world. It may be that you love bees. And again, sorry, I'm talking a lot about applique, aren't I? That's my style. Make it yours. There's a bit of velvet. it's a great opportunity to play. Have I nearly finished? I think so. You might have an existing pouch that you want to now turn into a gift to fly away. So this is the Roxy pouch, which I would say this automatically. I've got the blanket from Steffi's grandmother, which is my treasure. That is a treasure, very, very old. My thrift would be this piece of embroidery. This is also thrifted. Treasures I've talked about. And what would we do with this to take it to the next level? I haven't got very many blues. That's wrong. I did have one more little container that I can't find. But I could put just one thing on there to finish it off. And that could count as my treasure rather than a trinket. Gee, I hope that's made sense. I could go on and on. Kate's made about 15,000 pouches just in her head. So do not worry. Here's another thing I just got out for you. Here's a little, I was thinking of deep blue sea. This is a existing, what do they call these? Towels? Hand towels. Look at that. It's thrifted. It's from a nice thrift op shop. It's been looked after. But there we have the trim already done for us. We've got blue. And if we're thinking of deep blue sea, we can just put lots and lots of blue over the top. It doesn't have to be the sea. It can be the blue that inspires. You know, there's a scrap of blue. Start doing things, or trace some flowers on and embroider it. There's a kingfisher. Whatever you want. So with that, Kate is going to stop. I don't want to overwhelm you. I hope that's been helpful. So let's finish up. Pouch, any size, any fastening, lined, unlined, embroidered, whatever you like, as long as it brings joy. If you have a piece or a wall hanging that you want to use more often, you can just zip it down here and turn it into a pouch. You can use an existing piece of fabric and just do that, and you've got a pouch. Here's the mini version. The thrifted, like that and like this, or if we go through Kate's collection, blanket. I'm realizing for many of you that's not as easy to get as maybe here in Australia, but I would say this is already January joy for me. Thrifted blanket, trim, treasure. This is my favorite. If I was to do a trinket, I really wish I brought that other thing over, but not sure that I like the gold. But I'm thinking trinket is holdable in your hand. This would be a trinket. In fact, that would be really handy. It's practical as well. Let's have a look. I showed you this one. This is my Christmas Cootamundra, well and truly trims, thrift. I haven't got a trinket or a treasure yet on there. And this is my little one. See, I'm pulled up to the roof. Trims I got these out because sometimes look at your jewelry, look at costume jewelry. That can be a trinket. I'm going to stop now because it's just too much fun. So I do hope that you, oh, there's the little baby. This is the mini pouch. So if you're worried, start small, big, reach out to each other. Let's share on our Facebook group. And remember that every pouch I made is going to fly to someone with absolutely all my heart. That's what I'm going to love. All our pouches in the nest are either going to fly or nest. And if they nest with us and don't get given, eventually they will become an heirloom in themselves. So thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye.